Well, today I'm going to try a project I haven't done before. I'm going to change the rear end fluid in the rear end of the Sprinter. And I have accumulated some tools and stuff I need. First of all, I checked the owner's manual and it specified Mobile Delvac 1 gear oil, 75W90. So I actually got it in a 1 gallon container. I think it takes a little more than 2 quarts, but 2 quarts would have cost the same as the entire gallon. So that's what I went with. I have a drain pan. I bought the necessary hex wrench that I need, and it's a 1/2 inch socket. So I have a 1/2 inch breaker bar. I also have a nice little 1/2 inch socket or ratchet adapter that I can use as well, because it's kind of tight quarters under there. If the breaker bar isn't enough leverage, I have a handle off my jack I can extend it with. I also bought this little gear or oil pump at Harbor Freight. The idea is I have to, I got to get it out of here and pump it into the rear end. So I can't just pour from there. That isn't going to work. So I'm going to try this, see how that goes. So they suggest you drive it around a little bit, warm up the rear end, get the oil a little warmed up. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out for a quick spin. When I bring it back, I'm going to turn it around because clearance getting underneath is a little better from the driver's side. On the passenger side, you've got the exhaust hanging down, and that makes it a little tighter fit getting underneath it. But otherwise, I don't have to put it up on anything. I can just get underneath it with a creeper. So I'll meet you when I'm underneath it. Okay, I'm underneath, and it's tight quarters under here. I can't use my creeper, so I just put a tarp underneath here and crawled under. But anyways, I'm in front of the differential. So the rear, you're looking at the rear tire, the back of the RV is that way. So I'm only looking at the front of the differential. What I want to point out is here's the drain plug right here. Okay. So I'm going to get that wrench, see if that fits there correctly. Be good to know I got the right wrench before I go any further. I have I can't get both arms over there because of lack of space. Here we go. Oh, here we go. I got it. All right, here we go. And it does go in there. That's good. All right. I did use a brush, clean some of the dirt off around it. Okay, so I was able to break it loose. You're definitely going to want a breaker bar, and it's, it's definitely tight. So I'm glad I got this little socket thing. But she's coming off. So while I'm messing with this, why don't we talk about why I'm doing this? It's simply because the Mercedes dealer told me how much it would cost for them to do it. So my first inclination is, well, let's research what's involved. And once I found out what's involved, I said, geez, if I have the right tools and I can get under it fine, this should be easier than changing the motor oil, which I do all the time. So that's where I'm at. Well, so while that's draining, I decided I could probably access everything I need to do from the back of the RV. So I'm going to try to, got my creeper. I'm just going to slide back in here. Staring at the back of the differential. Now, this is where we fill it. Okay, you can see the drain is over here. Okay, this is where we fill it. This is apparently pretty easy to get off. See if I get a screwdriver under there. This is just a rubber plug. Okay, there it is. That's what it was. So now we're just going to pump the new oil in there, and it's full when it starts coming out. So like I said, pretty straightforward. Let's see what else. I'm sorry, I'm like moving this camera around all over the place on you. So, got about 50, let's call it 55,000 miles on this RV. We're in our 9th year. I checked the Mercedes recommendations on how often this should be changed, and they said every 9th oil change or 10 years. Now, 9 oil changes, if you went with a 15,000 mile oil change interval of the 2015, would be 135,000 miles. But, you know, we are approaching 10 years, and we do tow with this RV. So I thought, you know, the differential's doing some work. Let's give it an oil change. So that's where we're at. All right, I'm under again. I got my feeding tube, so to speak, in place. So this is the tube going in from the pump. Got my gallon of Delvac here, and now I'm just going to pump. And I have got my drain pan underneath the differential, because, you know, at some point it's going to start dripping out of there. So I'll just catch it, and we'll just go until it's full. I hope it works. So here's an example of where a simple job becomes a nightmare. So basically, this spout that I had stuck in the filler thing had a couple of clips on it that would kind of hold it in position. So as I put this in here, I didn't really realize it, but those clips both went fully inside, such that I couldn't pull this back out again. And I thought what was going to happen if I yanked that out there, I was going to break one or both of them off and leave them inside the diff. So I started messing around with trying to, you know, pull them back in using different tools and stuff. And, well, one of them broke off. So decided, what am I going to do? That's got to come out of there. I can't leave it in. So I pulled off the 10 bolts that hold the diff cover in. So here we are. I got the piece out. Now I got to put the diff cover back on, get it torqued correctly. This gasket looks really good. I mean, I don't see any problem with this gasket at all. So I'm not expecting any problem here, but, you know, I didn't really want to go this far. All right, so now that I got everything put back together, the diff filled up. This is a piece of plastic that broke off inside the differential, which is why I felt like I had no choice but to pull off the diff cover. Get that out. What would have happened if that had gone through the gears? I have no idea. Probably nothing, but I didn't want to be the guy to be experimenting with that. So, you know, if I had this job to do all over again, what would I do different? Well, I just wouldn't use this gallon size. Therefore, I wouldn't have needed to go the extra mile and get this pump, which really wasn't that big of an asset. You know, buy just a couple of quarts that have the right, you know, top that you can squeeze it out right into the differential. Would have saved a lot of aggravation. So that's where we're at. Just a lesson. A lot of lessons you learn as you go through life.